Hello.
Welcome to the Nobody Talks About It podcast.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Karen. And today we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people might be thinking, but nobody's really saying out loud.
So let's get started.
Yeah.
Hello. And here we
Here
are
we
again.
are.
Here we are. How are you?
Struggling.
Struggling. What are you struggling with?
It's June
Yay.
and it's my birthday month.
Woo! That's exciting.
No, it's
Why
not
not?
exciting. I'm turning 40.
Oh, the big 4-0. That's exciting.
I have never felt like this about a birthday, but let me tell you, last year when I turned 39, it's just been downhill
What?
since I turned 39.
Wait, first, let's back it up. Let's back it up. What are you feeling about turning 40?
Well, this whole past year, it's like it's been the anticipation of the number.
The anticipation of the number. Dun dun. What
Like
happens? What
it's
happens?
it's a big number. And I feel like 40, I'm a really an adult now. I'm middle age.
Yeah.
I'm maybe in the second half of my life.
Oh my God.
And and what have I done?
A lot. We've had this conversation. You've done a lot. Oh my goodness. But that's exciting to turn 40. 40 is a positive thing.
Okay, I would like to hear about why.
Well, first of all, turning 40 is fabulous. And I think I gave you this pep talk, and I think I talked about it last time too. But it's just a fabulous time, at least for me. I did not have that feeling of dread, but I just think you become you. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Like, there's a lot of things that happen that you become more self-confident. I think you're more aware of what you like, what you don't like, what pisses you off, what makes you happy. You're more self-aware and very confident in you, who you are, and what you want. And you have no time for BS.
Okay, and you're telling me that happens just because I turned 40. Like all of a sudden I'm going to be
Well,
confident.
no,
I'm not going to care what people think. I'm going to have it figured out.
no,
I mean, maybe you didn't dread it because your life was like, I don't know.
no, no,
Like you
no, no. Well, I'm married, I have kids and all that, but there's the other side, like because you're single and you have no children, right? So maybe you're looking at it from the societal pressures, like,
yes.
and you're comparing yourself to everybody else. I don't know, I could be just, but you're comparing yourself like to somebody like me who was married and had kids. But I think it's the same for everybody or women at least. 40 is this is your time, baby. You rock it. You like strut your stuff. You do you.
I mean, you should see my face right now. Strut your stuff when I'm at the point where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm exercising. I'm trying to eat well and it's just like impossible to like be hot girl, you know? It's
Well,
like it's so all of that is so much harder and
I
I feel like
agree.
it's just going to get harder with the older I get.
Yes, that is true. Very true, but that is not something to be depressed about. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared. Yes. 40, yes, your body goes through changes. It might be a little bit harder to do things like lose weight
A
or
little bit. I hear you every day in my classroom.
but I'm 50. That's something different.
Oh my
Wait
goodness.
till you get
Okay.
there. That's another ball of wax. Oh my God.
Going back to something you said, yeah, like I can't believe I'm going to be 40 and I'm not married and I don't have kids.
And when we were talking about thinking, when we were discussing this possible episode, I started to look that up. That's not talked about a lot. Like women who are in their 40s or turning 40 who are single and who do not have children. And there are probably a ton of women out there, Karen, who can identify with you, because it's not talked about enough. And I know, like, when we have these things at work, sometimes, like the baby shower, the wedding shower, this shower, that shower, everybody needs to take a shower, you know, they don't, we tend to overlook, like, we don't celebrate, like, I don't have children, the people that don't have
Yeah.
children. And and
Like
that's
Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. She's like, I've gone to all my kids' friends' birthday parties and wedding showers and baby showers, and I think she threw herself a shower.
exactly for the life choices that you made. And those don't tend to be celebrated, and they should be celebrated. I am here to support you, Karen. Your life choices need to be celebrated, and attention needs to be brought to it.
Okay, so this will be the celebrating Karen episode, I guess. But like, here's the thing. I haven't necessarily wanted to get married and have kids.
And that's
But
fine.
again, 39 hit and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have a year to do this. And at this point, I have 19 days to do it. It ain't happening.
You
So it's
never
like you
know.
feel you feel all this pressure. And I think it's because going back to this idea of the number, it's like when I think of myself as a child, a teenager, someone in my 20s, I assumed, and probably because of the societal standard and societal pressure, I assumed that by 40, I would be married with kids. And even though I haven't necessarily made choices in my life to get to that point, and I haven't even wanted that for many years or been pursuing it, been thirsty for it, shall we say. Now that I'm 40, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Well, why is it a struggle? Because what is making it a struggle? Because you're comparing yourself to some standard.
Mhm. Okay.
It's yeah,
Well, I was having this conversation
yeah.
with a colleague,
Mm-hmm.
and she is 41, so 2 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going through it too. And she's like, well, Karen, I also feel like I'm in midlife crisis and I'm married with 3 kids. So there you go. That's not it. And she proceeded to explain to me this concept that like the midlife crisis, which I guess I'm in, really stems from grief
Yeah,
because it's a part of your life
yeah.
where you begin to grieve everything that could have been, that should have been, you know, and it's you're essentially analyzing your life at this age because this number forces you to do it. And you start to grieve about what could have been and what should have been, and maybe what regret you have, or the other paths you should have chosen, or the decisions you've made. And at the same time, as you're grieving, you're stuck because you're having these wonderings like, oh, maybe I should have taken this risk and, for example, tried a different career. But now you're like, oh no, I'm 40. I can't change careers now. Or you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, I don't think I'm in the right relationship. Oh no, I can't be single at 40. So you're like grieving, but you're also stuck. Thoughts?
Well, I agree. I think I like that analysis of the situation that you are grieving. Yes, you are starting a new chapter of your life. Um, but and yes, you're saying goodbye. Um, but I don't know if you necessarily need why I'm stuck on the why do people get stuck on that? Because I can't relate to that. Like, I thought 40 was great, and that's what I tell you all the time. I'm like, you have like no idea. You are like in store for like the best time of your life from 40 to 50. I think that's like one of the peak times of your life, but that's how I felt. So maybe that's why I think it's going to be like that for you too.
But you felt like that in your 40s?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Go
For
back to your 39th birthday.
oh God, I don't remember that, but yeah. Can't even remember last year.
Yeah, casualty of getting older and being in your
Yeah.
40s and
Yeah.
50s.
I'm like, I have no idea.
I mean, you're saying there's all this opportunity and you're going to develop, this sort of mindset, but I feel like it's a time in your life where your opportunities are actually dying and some are
What?
already dead
No.
and some are dying
No. No.
slowly.
You know why you have that? Because that's what society tells us. And
No, opportunity to have kid, dying.
okay, all right, all right.
Opportunity to get married,
No, that's not true. That is
aging
not
slash
true.
dying.
You can get married
Opportunity
still.
to
No.
be the fittest I've ever been in my life. My sister said to me a while ago, I was like, let's look at these pictures of us like when I ran track in college and I was like, look at my abs and my body. And I was like, let's use this as motivation to get like that. And she was like, we ain't going back to that no matter how hard we try. So like,
No, I disagree. I started CrossFit when I was in 40. I was 40, and I was the fittest in my entire life, and I looked the best in my entire life when I was in my 40s. In my 40s. I was
okay.
hot. I was like
All right.
sizzle, you
So
know.
fry that egg on the sidewalk when she walks by. All right. I
I
mean,
was hot.
I'm going for hot girl summer. So, but if you think about it, all of these things are harder with this age. So I think it feels like the opportunity, like for example, the
No.
opportunity to change your career, oh, I've been thinking about doing this, but now that I'm 40, it's going to be even harder
Why? Are you
because of what is it called? Ageism. They maybe don't want to hire you the older you get.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like I was looking up when we were talking about this. I don't know if it's a Generation X thing because I'm Generation X. And we're a tough generation, I got to tell you. Like we're a kick-ass generation. And one of the things I think my generation is doing is like trying to bring aging out into the open and stop looking and having that looking down on getting older, right? And getting older is something positive and it's something to be celebrated. Like other cultures celebrate, older generations and they're more respected. But for some reason in our culture, it's kind of like, oh my God, you're getting old, you're 40, your life is over, you don't look good, nobody's gonna hire you. I mean, look at all the things that
Except for men who do look good and who look better as they get older.
not all men. Hello, not all men. No, 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 no,
Okay, I guess you're right.
not all
But
men.
I agree with that. Celebrate like other cultures definitely celebrate age
Yes,
and they
we
have more
don't.
respect for their elders.
We don't look from a woman's perspective. Look at what you're saying. You're 40. We, have this standard of beauty that, they're always, putting out there young women, flawless, the filters and all that. We have this like standard. And then if you see an older woman on TV, you even do like a double take, like, wow, what is this old woman doing on TV? It's like
Mhm.
we tend to look down on aging as a culture. And I think Generation X is here to say, no, we need to stop. We need to stop. Why do you think I'm always talking about getting old? Like things that are happening to me. So that way, when you guys get there, you have like some clue. Oh, I remember Michelle. She used to talk about these things. Or to prepare you for what's coming because the previous generations, hello, people, did not prepare my generation for what the hell's happening to us. I got to tell you that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. So I think 40 is your time. Do not, one of the things I would say to people is do not, if you are like Karen, who is single, has no children, you know,
Rub it in.
but
Rub it in.
that's not a bad thing. You know, just do not compare yourself to the standard of this impossible standard or invisible standard
It's
or
not
the
impossible
general.
because most people have it.
But why?
Silence. She can't come back to that one. Why do they have it? Probably because they feel like they need to. I mean, I don't know how happy most people are, but also with like
Exactly.
with jobs, like I don't know, like if you want to explore another career as you get older, it feels harder to do that. With money, a financial situation. Here's another example. Our kids in our school are learning how to invest and they're like 14. So they're going to be ahead of it, but we never learned that. And at 40, it's like, oh my gosh, if you don't have your financial situation under control, like it's so hard to put yourself in a good position to do it.
Well, if you don't have your financial situation under control at any age, it's so hard to do it.
Right. And the older you get, the harder it is. And for me, it just has this feeling of like helplessness in many regards that just makes me like not know how to do anything. I just feel frozen.
No, I disagree. I think that because you are in your 40s, or at least when you turn 40,
39.
you know who you are at this. You know what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want, or you have some general knowledge of that. And as you go through your 40s, that just becomes stronger.
Okay, so
And
tell me like how is this gonna happen? Am I gonna see the light? Like what are the warning signs? Is this gonna just happen
it's
on
just
the
going to happen. I mean, like,
22nd of June? Is it just I'm just gonna wake up and I'm gonna be like, hey,
no, you are
okay.
going to you are going to have something happen. This is my prediction. You will have something happen and you're just going to know what to do. I think you just told me about this today that you had some revelation and you're like, I had this revelation and it came to me and I've made a decision and this is what I'm doing. And that's just how your 40s roll.
Oh, about having an apartment with a
Yeah, it
balcony.
just rolls. Your indecision starts to go
Ah,
away because you
so
start to realize, like, no, this is not what I really like. It's this, and I'm going
so
for this.
so from today, I'm not gonna be indecisive anymore.
Yeah, it's going to go away because you know who
Oh
you
my
are.
goodness. I
Ja.
don't think I know who I am, and I don't think I'm going to necessarily know who I am completely in 3 weeks.
No, but through your 40s, that will develop. You will start to see that you will be able to make better decisions or faster decisions or be less indecisive because you're going to sit there and say, no, I'm not going there because, I don't like it. Or no, I'm not going because, this chick is there and I can't stand her and she gets on my nerves, whatever it may be. Or no, I'm not hanging out outside because it's too hot. I don't know, whatever it is. Or like what you did today, the apartment, you knew that, like, nope, I'm not doing that because I really want this. So I'm doing this and that's it. And if I can't have that, then I'm going to look for something else until I get what it is that I want.
So what does it mean to know who you are? Like what makes knowing who you are? So you hit this age. You're saying you know who you are, which I kind of know who I am. I guess I know who I am, but like what makes
You will know who you are by the end of 40.
Oh, so in 10 more years. Okay.
Well, as you go through, you're going to know who you are. I mean, you're already starting. Look at what you did. You made a decision. I made a revelation this morning. I had a revelation. Yeah,
Oh.
it started.
So this is the first
This is the
one.
first. This is the first one. And it's just going to get
Wow.
better. You're going to
Okay,
see
that's exciting.
little by little, you're going to be like, nope, not doing that. Yep, that's a good one. You're going to
So you
see.
just kind of have this, I don't give a,
No, it's just you know who you are. At this age of
that's
this
very vague.
stage,
Like you know who you are.
you know who you are. You know what you like, what you don't like, what you can tolerate, what you can't tolerate,
But
what you want to
I think,
tolerate, what you don't want to tolerate.
okay. Um,
The food that you
I,
like,
I,
the drink that you
I
like.
was gonna say, like, I feel like I've known what I like and don't like for many years, but you're saying like when you hit 40, your willingness to tolerate it, you're willing to maybe stand up
Yeah, you have the
and not
confidence.
people please.
Exactly. Not people please. You're more confident in
Oh,
yourself.
this is
You are
exciting.
you are more confident because you have experience. You know, people will start to look to you. You will I mean, yes, you're going to be the start to be the older person sometimes, and you're going to talk from experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is kind of exciting.
It is exciting. It is exciting. It's an exciting 40 is fabulous. You're going to look good. You're going to feel good. You could possibly be in the best shape if you get into like whatever exercise routine. You know, when you get into 50, oh my God. Oh my God. Don't even get me started on that one. Then it all goes downhill. It goes to shit for sure. But,
But okay,
enjoy your 40s.
do you think this is the same for men?
Ooh, good question. Good question.
And now we're going to pause as we think about what our invisible male guest might say. I think men, oh, I want to talk about men because I think men have this image in society that they get better with age. They become more distinguished. They get like the salt and pepper hair, like the grays coming through the darks, and they look distinguished and they're handsome. And at least
Well,
physically, I think men.
and for women too. But women, I think that this is exactly my point. This is not talked about, or it wasn't talked about as much. So if women know what's coming, they're able to take care of themselves and do what they need to do so they can be rocking hot when they're in their 50s and 60s.
Hmm,
You know what I'm saying? Like if you know what's coming, what changes are going to happen because there are obviously different changes that occur in a woman than in a man. And it affects a woman more than it does in a man. So if a woman knows what is coming and can start to work towards achieving or combating whatever's coming, then you can be rocking when you get older.
okay, so that's the goal.
That is your goal. Your goal is to find out what happens to your skin, your hair, your nails, your body, and like start like working with it, understanding it, and then just, working with that. Not trying
Okay.
to be 20 years old because you're not 20 and I'm not 20.
Yeah.
You are who you are and you're beautiful, but you have to work with it because if it's not talked about in society. Like we older women, you're not in my category, but get pushed aside. And so it's not talked about and it's not like brought out in light. And I'm here to bring it out in light. Women, get it together, women. Figure out your skin care, your hair care, your beauty. Don't let these young people, these young chicks push you aside.
Mm. So I have this is what I have to look forward to as a summary. Okay.
Hmm.
Wait, but you didn't actually answer my question. Do you
Oh,
think men
wait,
go
what's
through
the
this
question?
too?
Oh,
Men.
sorry. Yes,
I
men do
talked
go through
about them
this.
physically, but I don't know if
Oh, in 10
they.
minutes. Wow. Yes, men go through this. I agree. They do go through this. And we see it in society and we see it in the TV, yeah, or in social media or whatever, in the movies, the sports car and the younger chick and I don't know. I don't know what it is that they go through. But yeah, they
Like the
definitely go through that.
trucks,
Yeah,
the
and
pickup
that
trucks.
yeah, and oh, the pickup trucks. Also, the whole idea of like, the older man going with the younger chick, and that's like being accepted. But I'm
Oh,
sorry, Karen, you can be the older woman with the younger guy.
the cougar.
Yeah, exactly. Because, the older
No.
men, they might be good looking, but, their thing ain't up to standard. You know what I'm saying?
Okay then.
So you got to go for the youngers. Just
The
saying.
youngers. All right, that's an interesting thought. That's an interesting thought. So,
Ay.
takeaways.
Yes.
I'm going to
Takeaways.
look forward to having better making decisions faster.
Uh-huh. Being more confident in knowing who you are and being
Okay.
able to make decisions faster and
Based
maybe
on what I like, what I don't like, what I'm like,
who you
I
are.
am not going to tolerate that.
Exactly. And you
And I'm
already
also going to do
started.
some research. I'm going to figure out what's going to happen and how my body's going to change and how
What supplements,
my
what
supplements,
exercise.
my protein, because
Exactly.
those 30 grams of protein are all over the internet.
Yeah. So figure that out, go with it, and you'll be successful. I loved
All right.
40. I loved
All
it.
right. All
Hmm.
right. I'm feeling better about it. So thank you. And I would love to hear your thoughts if you're in my boat. If you already are 40,
Do you
did you
agree with me?
yeah. And did you experience this and what helped you get through it?
Yeah, exactly.
We have a quick alert.
Oh, sirens. Woo, 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 woo.
We are going to be taking a pause for a few weeks from the podcast as we produce more content.
Yes, as you guys know, we're teachers, so we're about to go on summer break. Yay!
Woo! So we're going to take a quick pause. If you haven't already, listen to all of our 10 episodes in season 1, and we'll see you soon for season 2.
All right. Until next time,
Bye.
hasta la vista, baby.
Congratulations and thanks for listening.
We really appreciate it.
You made it to the end.
There we go.
Remember to follow our show and comment below.
And if you really liked us,
Connect with us on social media at the Nobody Talks About It podcast.
until next time.
Bye.